Hey guys, this is the start of something new. I'm Kev. I'm here with Ian, and we are now covering this podcast where we're gonna dig into the world of the server we run, Vibe Central, covering all-time drafts, discussing all-time drafts, and the players that we draft within them. Just an overall like a basketball thing, but also using our ATD brains instead of eye test brains because that's fun. So me and Ian to start, we're gonna dig like straight into like the recent all time draft. The budget with drafts we did. I mean the budget with trades. I'm already messing up here, but that's okay. To start off, me and Ian we want to run through like our favorite teams, give you guys like a basic feel of what we liked the most, and then we may discuss a team we didn't like. Ian, would you like to start off, or shall I go first?
You can go ahead. I'll follow right after.
All right. So aside from my like perfect team, the Purple Rain, Nash, Hondo, Dirk, Tyson Chandler there. Um, I really like the Gators. That they got the first seed, well deserved. Like the Gators, they had Isaiah Thomas, Jerry West, Paul George, AK-47, Alonzo Mourning. I think another like this team in general, it's very well built and has some players I really like. Like Rajon Rondo for $1 is probably perfect value. Paul Westphal, Jeremy Grant, Bob Love, Harvey Dust. It's a really well built team. I'm glad I got the first seed. I should have gotten it, but that's okay.
Yeah, I think we
Like,
all think that. We all think we get the first seed, even when our teams are garbage.
right. Like poor Nazard. Nazard probably thought it was a first seed.
Yeah, Nazard would have had a playoff team if he, we'll discuss it later why he would have. But
We'll discuss it later. But yeah, I really like the Gators. Very, very well built team. And a team that like at first, when you said it, that I looked at some more. I was like, wow, it's really cool. Tom and Jerry.
yep,
I really grew on CP3 Robinson. That's so powerful in the regular season.
that's a really good duo. That was one of my favorite teams as well, along with the Gators. The Gators, I felt, besides my beautiful, beautiful Hakeem Kobe duo, I felt like the Gators were the best team, and I think pretty much everyone else did too. Their
Right.
defense is just ridiculous.
Right. The Gators are pretty much equipped to take on any team in the draft.
Yeah, they're the team I fear if we
Oh,
inevitably face each other.
absolutely. Yeah, like Tom and Jerry, very, very good. I think I grew a little bit on Vandaway starting because that's just a pretty solid like starting lineup defense.
Yep.
Because you have Lou Aldang and David Robinson like right there.
Yeah, you have to cover him because defense is pretty
Right.
atrocious. But
I think like the offense is very good with like Paul Booker, Vandaway. You have Robinson, Dang. I
yep,
think it works out very well.
and you
The
got
bench,
you got Chet Walker coming off the bench too, which is really nice.
right? I've always liked Chet Walker.
Yeah,
And
me
generally have
too.
Doc Rivers, Bobby Phillips, Chet Walker, Derek McKee, Nene. So like they're
Nene
covering
is
all their
great.
bases as a team.
Yeah, Nene is great too for coming in for Robinson because he's a good
Oh
rim
yeah,
runner. He's a good box out guy. Good
right.
grab rebounds. Good defense. He's an
Right,
overall plus, and he's really cheap. It's a nice value.
right. It's very complimentary. Like it was just very well done. I
Yeah,
really, really like how it turned out.
I was a fan of the Argentine Soul Cal's team. He did a
Yeah,
really good job of budgeting. He waited,
yeah,
waited for the
right. Yeah,
prices to fall, and he ended up with a nice lineup of Stockton, who
Uh,
everything right
yeah,
now with him, but Vince Carter, Kawhi, Paul Millsap, Ben Wallace, and then he's got Lou Hudson, Bob Dandridge, and Dave Cowens off the bench, which is just
that's
absolutely
nasty.
nuts. That's a
Like,
nasty bench.
like I'll admit, I usually hate on John Stockton, but this is a really good John Stockton team.
Yep, me too. I think that it's perfect. And
Like it's so well built, so well fitting, such a really cool bench. Like it's fun and it's really good. Like it's a team that goes, you're like, huh, that's new.
yep, yeah, and I just think the way he he drafted was really smart. He allowed the prices to fall. He waited for fallers, and then he was able to pick up like 4 stars basically, and then Millsap is obviously another one too.
Right. Yeah.
But
Like the,
and I think getting Cowens too is huge off the bench for Wallace.
yeah. If you have
Gives you a nice change of
You
pace.
have Cohen's count. You have him coming off the bench. Like it's debatable that you could have him start over Wallace. Like
Yeah, if you want it, you don't need to start Wallace every
right.
game. You can definitely start Cowens for certain
Like
game matchups and stuff like that.
right. It's a very adjustable team.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I really like that team.
Oh yeah.
I like Hughes' team as well. It was it was your basic Jordan team, but it
Right,
had
yeah.
Michael Jordan on it.
Yeah.
So Jordan,
Yeah.
Middleton, Tony Parker, Larry Nance Sr., Bob Lanier is a very, very nice starting lineup.
Right. Like that benefits super well from being it's a really good MJ lineup.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I think he took the loss today, which is tough to see, but
Right. Yeah. I was
overall
hoping he'd go past. I have some bias for you in my heart.
yeah, I also like Steve Smith off the bench and Gal Goodrich. Man, he does not get any love. He's a great pickup.
Oh yeah, I love Gil Goodrich. Goodrich, Andre Miller. I'm always back and forth about Andre Miller, but for his price, he's pretty solid. He's
Yep.
probably one of the best. Like he's $1, right?
I think so. Yeah, I think he's
So
$1.
he'd be one of the better $1 cards available.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, yeah, I really, really like that team.
Yep.
A team that grew on me too was the Kansas Jayhawks as well.
Yeah.
They I thought it was a good, interesting putting Sheed at center with Malone.
Right. Yeah.
Um,
That is a very good front court defense, though.
yeah, and then Butler, Corver, Williams is really good too. It's really underrated. I'm not a huge Kyle Corver fan, but he isn't a bad defender by any stretch of the means. He's pretty
Well,
good
yeah,
actually.
he was always a pretty good like help team defender in Atlanta.
Yeah, absolutely. Um, trying to think what other teams I liked.
I was
I
a
did
pretty
like
big
your
fan of
team.
the Warriors. I thought the Warriors were very good.
Yeah, the Warriors were really good. They also took the loss today, which was
Very
sad
sad.
to see. But
They pulled off Alex English starting pretty well.
yeah, I think normalizing Alex English as a starter is a big thing now. I think it should
Oh yeah,
happen.
right.
He's probably
And
the most underrated player of all time.
oh
I
yeah,
mean,
and like he's 100% startable in budget.
yeah,
Like he's a super good volume scorer that opens up like the budget for the rest of your team pretty well.
yeah, and he's not, and he's. I think he's like a small positive on defense too. So it's not like
Yeah,
he's.
yeah. I
Yeah,
consider him that too. Yeah.
and yeah, his scoring is just great, and he was probably one of the better shooters of the '80s.
Right.
I think today he would shoot threes.
Oh
Um,
yeah, absolutely. He would
that's
age
how I
pretty
kind of
well.
that's how I kind of view some of these older guys like Sam Jones and stuff like that. Um, they were great shooters in their time, and if you look at how they would be today, Sam Jones would be a dead eye from three. I feel
Oh
so.
yeah. Oh yeah.
Any other teams you liked? I liked your team a lot.
Yeah, my team turned out pretty good. I
Yeah,
see. I
it did.
know that. I think this one will be more interesting than you. We were kind of like split on how we felt about the team, but the Space Rocks, the team Skunk built,
Yep.
I think a lot of people grew on that one after a while and eventually performed well in seeding.
Yeah, it grew on me a lot too. At first, I was kind of like, I don't know. I saw Robert Horry and I got nightmares. Um, as a
Rest
Kings
in
fan.
peace, Sacramento.
Rest in peace to our playoff hopes and dreams. Um, but yeah, Gobert there with Horry is great. Pierce is
Oh yeah.
awesome in the playoffs. Wade too. Then of course her favorite Kyrie. I mean, you can't have a skunk team without Kyrie on it.
Oh, absolutely. Skunk needs Curry every draft.
Yeah, it should just be a thing where she just
Right.
gets them. The thing that gave me pause was the bench. I'm not crazy about some of these guys.
Yeah, because Kerry Kittles, I bounced around with how I feel about Kerry Kittles' value.
Yeah, I think he's a great $1 guy, but in some other
Yeah,
servers and other stuff, he's
like he's like $2 to $3, and it's just like
yeah. And I'm not crazy about Bojan Bogdanovic. But
yeah,
I think he's a good shooter off the bench, which
right.
provides some nice stuff. And then I mean, Bill Laimbeer is one of my favorite players. I know it's weird to say, but I love the Bad Boys. But
Yeah, it's fair.
I really like that pick. He's actually a really nice spacer for a big.
Hmm.
Yeah, it grew on me. It's a definitely a team
Like,
that's more this century built, but
right,
yeah,
yeah. And even though
the only
it's not optimal in an all-time draft, but it's a team that it's good enough to where if you need it in like the playoffs and one-on-one matchups, it can function as like an ISO team.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. Um, trying to think. Yeah, I like those are the team. I like the Lakers too. I think they had a
Mhm.
nice build. I think that they got. I think I probably voted them too low myself. I think I voted
Yeah,
them.
yeah, I
I
think
don't know. I had them tier three. I had them solidly in the playoffs, but
yeah, I had tier three as well.
yeah.
Well,
I'm
technically like a tier two because I put myself tier one.
well, yeah. So tier two for me as well.
Right.
But I really like Kid Allen McGrady,
Yeah, that
Brandon
fits that
Green.
fits very, very well. That core
Yeah,
three.
really nice. I'm not crazy about Derek Anderson. I don't really know enough about him. Um, but I do like Billy Cunningham. That's
Oh
a
yeah.
great bench player that I think with the right team you might be able to slide him into a starting spot.
Yep. I liked Buck Williams there. Buck Williams is a good pick.
Yep, Buck's always good. Um, yeah, those are the teams I really like.
Yep.
Didn't mind the Thunder after a while. I still am questioning the Doncic Antetokounmpo fit,
Yeah,
but
that's the thing. Like Giannis is a player where some of his possessions he scores by taking the ball and just driving in.
yep,
So it's indifferent. Like I guess it's not that bad to where you're taking advantage of Luca's on-ball dominance and forcing Giannis into an off-ball role where he just cuts and dominates the paint.
yeah,
But Giannis himself is also a pretty good on-ball player that can play make.
yeah. That's the thing that I question. It's just those two together seems like it's a lot of uh ISO balls sometimes and like just constantly needing the ball. So I don't know how it would work.
Right.
But hey, you never know. Maybe Giannis gets traded to the Mavs or Luca gets traded to the Bucks.
Yeah, yeah. Apparently, it did come out like in NBA rumors that people were fearing, like in like front offices, that Luka and Giannis could want to team up.
That'd be sick, honestly. I
It
mean,
it
no
would
way.
be.
I'd love to see it.
Me too.
So what about teams you didn't like?
All right, so I think this is an obvious one. I was not a huge fan of Team USA. I had been talking trash about them the entire draft. One, because they're bad, and two, because I ate Sully. So I know this take this a lot of people are split. Like I'm mostly the main hater of this fit, but I do not like Harden Ewing. I don't think that functions.
Yeah, it depends on the way you view it. I mean, I could see Harden Ewing being a hell of a lob combination.
It
Um,
could be.
I don't I don't mind. I think I would have liked him to go with 97 Hersey Hawkins.
I
Um,
agree.
a better defensive Hersey Hawkins because this team's really offensive centric in terms of the perimeter players.
That
Uh,
that is true, yeah.
so I
I
think
mean,
there I would have definitely because Hersey's still valuable
right,
offensively in
but
97 too, but
it's not like Tatum is not going to anchor. Tatum's not going to anchor your wing defense.
no, no. Yeah, he needed someone a little bit better there, but I personally didn't think it was that bad.
Yeah.
I think I had it. Yeah, I had a tier six. I have a lot of tiers. Um, but
I think what made it worse is I hate Harden Rodman Ewing more than I hate Harden Ewing.
hmm, why
I,
is
I just
that?
I just don't know how I feel about like Rodman Ewing as a front court. Defensively, it's very good, but in general, I've just never been crazy about Rodman in these. So it may just be me not being sure about Rodman.
Hmm. Yeah, I don't mind. I don't mind Rodman. I think he's an excellent. I mean, he's another one of my favorite players just because of the bad boys. But I think that defensively, he's incredible. Like
Oh
his
yeah,
the way he's able to read things. He's one of the more smarter players of all time. I think people just dismiss him because of everything that's going on now.
right.
But he's he's really talented in terms of how much he can cover.
Oh yeah,
Um, for this, I may have wanted to see a more perimeter centric
right. That's I think the thing.
defender.
It's an offensively slanted team, but I'm not sure how I feel about the team's offensive ceiling. If that
Yeah,
ma- if
yeah,
that makes sense in any way.
yeah. I do like Fat off the bench, and I'm a big Spreewell fan.
Oh yeah.
I think that he's great. And McDice too. He's borderline startable in some lineups. Dude
Hmm.
just likes to spread the message. Uh, but yeah, I didn't mind the team, but it
Yeah.
certainly wasn't one of my favorites.
Yeah, I think compared to how like well built the other teams were, I just think it didn't hold up. I just didn't like it.
Yeah, I can understand that.
I think.
Um,
Oh, just a quick question regarding Team USA. Just for the meme, Nick Batum. Do you think 2021's a new Nick Batum season, or am I memeing too hard?
ooh, I think that I think that we're focusing too much on the fact that he was so bad in Charlotte, and that he came back and was like, "Oh yeah,
I'm
I can still play." I don't
right.
know. I don't know. I think that it might just be because of how bad he was, and then how he just came back. He's like, "Oh, I'm on a good team now. Let me play good again."
Right.
Um, I probably would still take uh the year that was a 13-14.
Yeah, 13-14 is the Batum year.
Yeah, I think I'd probably still take that.
Yeah,
Um,
that's fair.
but
Which
I've
we
also never taken Nick Batum before.
right.
Um, that
Yeah.
season though, he was a really good playmaker.
Oh yeah.
So I think that might be the Batum year. Um,
Right.
Still, just because he was crazy good.
Yeah,
And
sure.
then he went to Charlotte and was like, "I'm gonna average 3.6 points per game and not do anything."
Right. It
But
just wasn't a team that could take advantage of Batum's specialties.
yeah, and also it was an extraordinarily bad contract. I think
Right.
it seemed like he did it for the money.
Yep.
Um,
He
but
got his money, realized he wasn't winning, then just stopped.
yeah, exactly. He got paid and was like, "Never mind."
Right.
Team
And
I did not like,
right.
and
Yeah.
I mentioned this earlier. I thought they would have been a playoff team.
Hmm.
Uh,
If they had not
was
made the trade.
Yeah, yeah, this trade was bad. I don't know why you would ever trade LeBron James, arguably the greatest player of all time,
Right.
for Scottie Pippen.
I mean, do
I
we
just
still have trades open? Oh,
think so.
Gabe might have deleted trades if that's
Yeah, I
okay.
think Gabe deleted trades, but
Ah, man,
ooh,
Gabe, if you're listening to this, we hate you. Like,
nah, Gabe,
why would you do this?
yeah, it's all right, Gabe. You'll get it.
Anyways, yeah, the San Antonio Spurs.
Oh man, I mean, they were like, let's not have a number one option. Let's just get rid of LeBron and bring in the notorious Robin, Scottie Pippen. Like
I
he's
say for for
uh,
for those who are forgetful of rosters, you have Derek Harper, Brandon Roy, Scottie Pippen, Bob McAdoo, and Carl Anthony Towns. You're not winning with that.
no, no,
Mm.
and especially that defense, that front court defense is just,
Oh yeah,
oh man, it's rough.
like what are you guarding with McAdoo Towns?
Nothing, nothing. You're gonna get bodied. You're gonna get
Right,
bodied by Pau Hakim that I have. And
Hakeem scores 40 points per game.
yeah, easily.
Probably
Even
like unironically, he probably does.
and even like another team that I didn't like, the Trailblazers. I mean, they would have dominated
Hmm.
that front court with Barkley and Howard. My God,
Right.
there's many teams that would just bully the hell out of that team.
Yeah, the Blazers, just to talk about them for like a quick second, and we get back to bashing the Spurs. Um, the Blazers, they were just very like wonky in their construction.
Yeah, they uh they made a trade with me that I
Hmm.
immediately ended up flipping for Kobe Bryant. But I sent them Trey Young and a pick, I think, and I got Mark Price. And it just seemed like after that trade, they just
Yeah,
went down the tubes.
because
They really
their
didn't.
their backcourt defense is insane, having
Oh
Peyton Moncrief.
yeah,
But like the overall construction of the team, I'm just not sure about. Like it doesn't hold up
yeah. And
because
I'm not.
you
Go
have
ahead,
you have Peyton Moncrief, Marquise,
Mark.
Barkley, and Dwight Howard.
Yep.
Like I I don't think that functions well.
Yeah, the spacing's a little weird.
It's very wonky spacing wise.
Yeah. And then you got Trey off the bench, and it's like you gotta
Right.
play him with Moncrief at all times. You
Right.
could play Dennis Johnson with him, but like you have to have somebody that's insane levels of defense
Right.
with Trey Young. And I'm not a Trey Young fan. I think
I
people know that.
I
But
think 2021 Trae Young will be way better to draft.
yeah, I think it will be too. I don't think that's an overly bad pick.
Right.
I feel like he does a lot of stuff, and then you look at his stats after the game and you're like, oh man, wow, he really shot like shit. And it's just like one of those things that I was shocked
Hmm.
to see because when he was in college, I watched a lot of him, and I loved him in college.
Oh
But
yeah.
even then, he was like a turnover machine. He scored a lot, but he didn't. It wasn't like this like efficient scoring from Trey.
Hmm.
But
Right.
I mean, he'll grow on me. Most players end up growing on me. It just takes some time.
Right.
Uh,
That's some of the value does have back to his like efficiency. He can shoot 5 of 23, but still win a game because his playmaking was so good.
yeah, that's the thing that's growing on me is his playmaking. At first, you made fun of me for this one. I said he basically said, "LOL, Capella lobs is not an argument," because I basically when I would watch him, it was just him driving, passing
Right.
to Capella for the dunk, and I was kind of like, well, that's just not like. I think a lot of people can do that, but after a while, I saw like how much like the people closing out on him and the
Hmm.
people.
Yeah.
I
He's
mean,
drawing like he draws a lot of gravity. His gravity
yeah,
is very good.
we'll see how much the rule affects him if they
Mm.
do decide to change the
Right.
foul rule because he's an expert in that.
Hmm.
Uh, so we'll see how much that changes his value. Um,
Yeah. That would be interesting.
but yeah, back to the Spurs. I mean,
Right.
oh, I feel
like
bad.
they absolutely sold. That was
Yep,
not pretty.
they could have had a playoff team, and instead they literally built the worst team. I feel.
Yeah.
Uh,
It was bad.
yeah, it was.
Like if you put LeBron, if you change it to LeBron right there, I don't know if that was affordable if you changed it to LeBron, but
Yeah, he might have traded for McAdoo. I can't remember.
I think he
Um,
did. I think he tried to save his team, so he made some more trades.
yeah, it's just not
So
ideal.
because he originally had LeBron Odom Towns,
Yeah, and
and
that's
that was way better. That was fun. That was
yeah.
cool.
Just it's when you have LeBron, it makes a difference.
It does
When
because
you don't
LeBron at
have
his
LeBron,
peak, that's an all-time great playmaker, all-time great perimeter defender, all-time great scorer. Like he's doing everything. Then you go to Scottie Pippen, who doesn't do everything.
yeah, exactly. Um, then the team that came in last place was List's Toronto. Uh,
Okay, I do. I will say I do think I like the Raptors more than the Spurs.
yeah, I think
Just
I
by
can agree with that.
a tiny bit. I think I like the Raptors more than the Spurs.
I think I had the
They're-
Spurs, or yeah, I had the Spurs dead last. Um, then
like
Portland, and then Toronto. So I don't know if I would have had them exactly last. They do have like a clear-cut star in
Right.
Jokic.
Right. You
Um,
have Hardaway, Ginobili, Artest, Bosh, Jokic, which I think is a considerably like better and more coverable starting lineup than what the Spurs have.
yep, I agree. And then the bench. I'm a big Allen Houston fan.
Mm-hmm.
He's a real hooper. Um,
Well, don't stop Twitter. We appreciate Allen Houston.
but the backcourt, like while I respect, or excuse me, the front court, while I respect it with Zebo and Bellamy,
Sibo and Bellamy is just really bad.
it's just not it.
Like
Especially when you're
from
replacing Chris Bosh and Jokic, it's just not the.
right.
It's
Like when
not
you're
the move.
thinking when you enable your ATD brain, you go, yeah,
Yep. If you were just looking at this from a different standpoint, you'd be like, "This is a really good team."
right,
But when you look at the other teams, it's not comparable.
exactly.
Yeah, another team I wasn't crazy about were the Bullets. I think I had them.
Yeah, I've grown on the Bullets as a whole, but I still hate their guard defense.
Yeah,
Like
it's
I understand Bradley Beal. Bradley Beal is a very solid defender in 16-17, but solid defenders don't age as well in these.
yeah. I'm not sure I buy him as a point guard either. Um,
Well, I think functionally you're running LeBron as the point.
that's true.
Anyways,
That's true. Yeah, that's true.
like
I
like
forgot.
that I can defend about the team. Like LeBron is clearly running most of the plays here.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think I forget sometimes that the way we set the lineups up are so that they're defensively oriented, so that
Right, right,
it
right.
wouldn't be
'Cause,
confusing. Where
like most teams, you'll see Magic at the three when in reality he's running the one on offense.
absolutely, there's no question about that.
Like,
Um,
yes, Magic Johnson is my off-ball small forward.
yeah, that's just not happening. Uh, the bench is a little questionable. There's no like, wow, this is a star off the bench. Nice six man. I didn't see that with this team.
Right.
Aldridge is fine. I'm not completely crazy about him, but I do think that that's a fine pick. But they don't have that guy off the bench like with Cal. Cal's got three guys off the bench that can just get buckets.
Right.
Whereas this team seems more need oriented.
Mm-hmm. And I agree on the team a little bit because like I've grown on McHale as a player. I used to mean on him for being a black hole, but it was just kind of a situational thing where his passing got underrated because he was on an all-time great passing team.
Exactly. I was the same way. I used to
Mm.
be like, wow, this guy just gets the ball and you're never getting it back.
Wow, it's Andre Drummond, but efficient. LOL.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, those are the majority of the teams I'm not crazy about. I don't think I like the Celtics. Um,
Yeah, I, I do like the Celtics. Like it's a fun team. The Celtics are a fun
yes,
team.
absolutely.
But
Fun's different than good though.
right.
Um,
Oh, absolutely. 'Cause
just
I'm still not super sold on 1920 Bam being super switchable. So him at the four feels awkward to me.
yeah, I don't see it with Russell either. There, I
Yeah,
mean,
right.
you really don't need Bam when you have Bill Russell.
Right.
Um,
Like
you could have
sure,
ran
like
Battier at the four.
right. Like it's like sure, Battier, Abadea, Russell is defensively loaded and is probably stopping a lot of teams, but it's just super clunky otherwise.
Exactly. I would have definitely gotten putting Battier at the four, and then
Yep.
try
Just
to find a
drafted like
better three.
find like a good wing defender or something.
Yeah, those are the teams I really don't like. I don't know if there's any others you don't like, or you're just really, really hating on Sully's Team USA.
I will say the team I didn't think should have made the playoffs, they just barely made it. And I didn't like them at all. I don't understand Vancouver. Like
Yeah,
I think Vancouver compared to the rest of the field is just super weak.
they have Bird, and then it's a severe drop off.
Right, that's the thing. Like you have Larry Bird and that's it. Your
Yep.
second your second best player is what, Bernard King?
Yeah, which I like Bernard King. Not as a person, but as a player, he's very good. I think that
Right.
he's very good, and I think that he can be a two. Just this lineup is And I'm not
His-
I'm not a big Marcus Smart fan.
no,
Um,
I've grown the opposite on Marcus Smart. He's not as good as I thought he was.
yeah, I don't think that he's this all-time great defender. I think he's
Well,
I don't know.
he's valuable for his guard defense, but his offense is severely weird.
Yeah, very
Because
weird.
1920, he would occasionally chuck some shots that made me scratch my head.
Yep, yep. He can be like a very like he can act like he's a hooper sometimes, like
Yeah,
and it's just like, nah, Marcus, you don't got it, you don't got that style. But
right.
I don't mind the bench.
Yeah, the bench is nice.
I'm a huge Ricky Pierce fan. I think he's great value.
Mm-hmm.
I actually just drafted him in another server.
Mm-hmm.
OG's always great. Um,
Yeah, OG's nice.
yeah, and
Josh Smith is cool. Nurkic is nice.
yeah,
This is
all
a
those
nice
guys.
bench, but just like a very deathless starting lineup.
Yep. And I think I'll buy Donovan Mitchell more as a backup one
Mm.
when we can draft 2021.
Yeah, that's the
I
thing.
think
2021 Donovan Mitchell, he took such a leap in his playmaking.
yes,
Like
absolutely.
it's crazy how much he leaped there.
Yeah, I
So
completely
that,
agree.
that like that's me. Like I never took Donovan Mitchell before because I was more iffy on him. Now absolutely, if he's available for $1, I will take him absolutely.
Yeah, I think he's a great value, and I think his price will actually be higher than that.
Yeah,
Um,
because I guess he is like he's $2 now, isn't he? He's $1 or $2.
yeah, something around that. He's just a
Yeah,
very good.
like he could easily be like a $4 or $5 player now that he has like proven playmaking and passing ability.
Plus, his playoffs are just utter madness. I
Right.
mean, crazy. He
Right,
goes
Yep.
to a
He,
different level.
yep. Proven resilience, proven playmaking, proving passing.
Yep,
His efficiency stepped way up in the second half of the season.
exactly.
It's
But yeah,
100% worth it.
and then I think a team that I had a mid tier, but I just
Mhm.
want to say their name because it's so funny. Kibler's Camel Toe Hounds.
The Cleveland Camel Toe Hounds. You love to see it. They they've definitely got like a boring penalty. Like their team was not very exciting.
No, I do not buy Brook Lopez whatsoever, so I
Yeah.
didn't like that. But I mean, KG and Dame is so sick. I love it.
hmm
Um,
he could have set him up in a better like surrounding situation. Like
yeah,
100%.
I don't know if Pressy was the move with Dame.
No, because he's a decent guard defender that can guard ones for Dame, but
Yeah,
it's not like he's a straight up cover guard.
yeah. And Pressy also is a good playmaker and stuff like that, but I definitely don't think I would have liked him there. I think I
Right,
would have
because
wanted a.
Pressey is fairly like on the ball.
Yep.
So him and Lillard isn't like the best move.
Yeah. I have really grown on Amari Stoudemire, so him off the bench is pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that's the thing that'll interest me because 2021 Zion is absolutely draftable. My
Oh yeah, I think I mentioned this. I have my own server as
like
well. He's
like
going
like
real high.
like my question is like just right now since we're getting ready to move into a different topic soon, would you take Zion Williamson over Amari Stoudemire?
Absolutely. I already
Yeah.
do. I already do. I've said this before. He's averaging right now, in my server, he's currently 15. So
Ooh.
so he's going for a lot. Partially that's because of me. I like to draft him. Me and Dunas both love him a lot, so we'll take
Yeah.
him. Um,
Yeah. Like now that we're moving into a topic of the 2021 players, like his scoring gravity is unreal.
Unreal. I haven't
He
seen somebody who is so good around the rim since Shaq. I
right.
mean, he's
He
nearly
he
unguardable.
he draws like three defenders and still scores in the paint like it's easy.
Easy. And his playmaking has gotten so much better. That
Right,
was
yeah.
something that really shocked me.
Like if you are basing your draft pick off of how he was in the second half of the season, you are drafting a really complete player.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, injuries are obviously a concern with him, but I
Yeah,
think
but
that eventually he's going to be able to get into a
Hey,
grind. And he realizes he's already one of the best players in the league and has the opportunity to be an
right.
all-time
Yeah,
great.
he hadn't even played a full 82 games until he was considered a top 25 player.
Yep, absolutely. Yeah, he's one of my favorites for
Oh
sure.
yeah.
But I do think going on to this topic now, I think that the number one stock increase will be Jokic. Um,
Oh yeah. Yep.
I mean, just
Like
a
it
clear
was
step up.
it was very like debatable between communities, but I think in terms of offensive center seasons, I would put Jokic above any Shaq season in terms of offensive center production.
That's wow.
Yeah.
That's bold. I think that this
I
is
think straight
an
up
insane season.
2021 Jokic is the best offensive center season of all time.
Wow, book it. I think it's up there. I don't know if it's number one. I think that his playmaking is just to another level.
Oh yeah.
The way he sees the court, I mean, there's no center, including all the great passing centers, whether it's
Right.
Wilt or uh,
Right.
even Shaq or Walton. I mean, nobody's like this guy.
Right.
You're
Like
not going to see Bill Walton bring the ball up the court.
right.
So
Like that's the thing, like even in the playoffs, we watch like a Portland, they shut down the rest of the team and Jokic still would manage to score 30 plus points per game on positive efficiency. Like you can't shut Jokic down.
no, you can't. You can maybe do the single coverage thing with him, like
Hmm.
Portland did, but he's still just going to bury you with points because
Right.
he's an elite scorer.
Right. Right. He's gonna create for his teammates or you're gonna give him 30 points a game. Like you have to choose.
Yep, you have to pick your poison basically.
Right.
I think another one too will be Luca. I don't know how much
Yep.
it will increase, but I
It's
think
like
that
it'll at least go up because even though he still has the issue where his offense is very Luca offense,
yep,
but his scoring went up, his resilience is more proven, his shooting got way better as the season went on, his playmaking got even better somehow.
yeah, I know. And I mean, Luca in the playoffs is already all time. I mean,
Right.
it's insane.
He just went up. He 2 seasons in a row he goes up against an elite perimeter defense and cooks them.
Yep. And I was hesitant at first before the start of this playoffs. Like somebody in another server said he'll easily put up 30, 10, 9.
Right.
And I was like, I don't know. I mean, I
And
think
then he does more. He
he
does
does
more than
more.
that.
It's insane. He's absolutely insane.
I believe his final averages were like 34, 10, and 8, somewhere around
Yeah,
there.
it's insane. He's crazy.
Absolutely.
And I'm still just in pain from the fact that we took Marvin Bagley over Luca, and it was because Vlade didn't like Luca's dad. It's like, what?
Yeah. Fox Luca would be so good.
Oh, it would be bonkers. I mean,
Mhm.
I feel like we'd be perennial playoffs.
Oh yeah. No, probably guaranteed. Like with the way Luca play makes, if you got like a De'Aaron Fox using his speed and athleticism to play off Luca, that's an insane offense.
Yeah. And we have a decent center. I don't know if he's going to come back or not with Rashawn Holmes.
Yeah,
He
he was he proved his value pretty well.
Yeah, he did. If he does leave, it's going to be real tough.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, it's going to be real
Yeah.
tough. Because our backup center right now, hopefully, is Hassan Whiteside, and it's just
Hmm.
oh. Hassan always has that one game though where he's just like, I'm gonna go off for like
Right.
20, and 5 blocks, and just be
Right.
like, and then go back and just not do anything. Um,
Right. Another
but I
player I
really
want to. Yeah. Oh,
go
sorry.
ahead.
You can finish.
No, I was done.
Another player I want to touch on is out of Homer bias entirely. If you do not consider this season's Larry Nance Jr. to be draftable, I think you're on crack.
Oh my god, I don't know about that.
No,
I
he's
haven't seen him be drafted yet.
well. This season, he was one of the more like defensively impactful players in the league. Like whenever he played, the Cavs' defensive rating shot up.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I just don't know how much he would be drafted. I don't know if he's
Well, he's at least like he's a guarantee. He's a good $1 value player. Like absolutely. Like he
Yeah,
has to
I
be.
think I could buy that. I mean, I
Because
don't. Yeah, I
because
don't
like
know.
because he's also like if you watch like his games, he's also a good passer playmaker at the four. Like
Yeah,
he
yep.
he can make plays. He can be an extra passer to follow up plays. He defends well. Like I think he overall has a decent skill set to where you can draft him at your bench for a dollar or two, and you're living pretty good.
I think that maybe he would be good for bench, in budget, like in
Oh
really.
yeah, yeah. I wouldn't say take him in standard, but I would say I'm take him in budget. Like he's a very safe bet in budget because he was a proven impactful player that elevated the Cavs when that season first started.
Yeah. Did he have enough minutes?
Oh, I
Yeah,
believe
he
he
did.
did.
90. I usually do 1,000 minutes as the cutoff. He had
Yeah,
1,091, so he just barely makes the cutoff.
yeah. Like he's
Um,
just barely draftable. But like
yeah.
he was positive efficient. I believe he was positive efficiency.
Uh, let's see.
No, not
Uh,
Larry.
mm, Shooting wise, he wasn't. Um,
Mm,
but
okay, yeah.
yeah, he wasn't.
Efficiency wise, he fell off from last season, but that's because he was asked to do a little more.
Yeah, but he definitely was eye opening watching defensively. He can
Hmm.
hit the passing lanes real well. He's definitely a
Yeah.
talented guy.
Oh yeah. Because even though it's a very raw stat line on the low minutes for let's see, how many minutes a game did he play? He
Ooh, yeah,
played
he played
31.
31. That's not bad.
So you're getting what? You're getting 9.7 rebounds and 3 assists from your bench four, which is pretty decent.
Yeah, I think that while we're on the topic of good defenders that could be draftable, someone I've been drafting in other servers is Matisse Thybulle.
Yes.
I
Matisse
think,
Thybulle, like if you miss out on Andre Roberson, you just draft Matisse Thybulle.
yeah, and I think that um, you made a bold statement earlier about
Mm-hmm.
Jokic being the best offensive season ever. I think that Matisse Thybulle has the opportunity to be the greatest wing defender ever. I
Right,
think
he
that
definitely he has that potential there. Like he could hit that absolutely.
he's unreal watching him on defense. Like I watch basketball completely differently now since I joined these servers and stuff like
Mm.
that. I used to watch it
Yeah,
and just be like,
yeah.
"Oh, wow, Matisse
When you
Thybulle can shoot a 3." But
yeah
now,
when you dig into the more like fundamental parts of the game, Matisse Thybulle really stands out.
yeah, he does. His defense is utterly madness. I mean, he just knows he sees the court so well on
Mm-hmm.
defensive possessions.
Like
Offensively, he needs to get better.
yeah, of course.
But
Like
I
si-
absolutely think he's draftable.
oh yeah, like Sixers fans were talking about like how Simmons was a defensive player. You know, if you're gonna pick a Sixers homer defensive player, it's Matisse Thybulle.
Absolutely. And he only played like 20 minutes a game, which is
Right.
incredible. He made
Mm-hmm.
I think he's one of the first people, my friend who's a Sixers fan was telling me this. Shout out if you're listening. That he's the first guy with that low minutes to make a defensive team.
Yeah, like he's just insane.
He just brings so much. And the thing is too is he can block shots too.
Yeah.
Like I saw a couple times where he just straight up swatted people. I think he swatted Trey once maybe, but it was just like that's crazy. Like he's got crazy length.
Mm-hmm.
I think another player too, even though
Mm-hmm.
speaking of the Sixers, I think Embiid goes up. I mean, he
Oh,
was an
by
MVP
a lot.
candidate this year.
Because before he was more questionable and like fit, where you like if you were gonna start him or bench him. Now he's like 100% a starter.
Absolutely. I agree with that. I think that he was really good this year. He was arguably deserving of the MVP as well. I know
Yeah.
he missed time.
If he had played more minutes, he probably would have won because he has
Yeah,
a huge defensive edge over Jokic.
I think so too. However, I've been watching him a lot more recently. I don't like how when he gets the ball, it's like he never looks to pass really. His passing
Yeah.
is pretty bad.
Mm-hmm.
I think that goes understated a lot. And
Mm-hmm.
I think that the only few times I saw him really pass was after like he couldn't post up Capella or he couldn't do a fadeaway and he would just wait for Seth Curry, and that was one of the only times I really saw him pass. But I do think this season of Embiid is the draftable one, and I think he's a clear cut starter.
Oh yeah. Like what would you maybe like would be a round 4, round 5 guy?
Yeah, I think so. Maybe even 3.
Maybe in 3? Yeah, that's fair.
I think that he's got that value. I think he can be a top 90 pick.
Yeah.
He's just he's just great to have because he can also space, So
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Aha, another center to take over Nate Thurmond.
yeah, Nate Thurman needs to get boosted more, man. I'm
He
sorry.
does. He does. But it's
I'll
also
run.
funny watching him drop with every draft.
Yeah, I know. Oh crap, Nate Thurman's right there. Let me take him. Shit, let me get an all-time defender. All right.
Speaking of centers who are 100% better than Nate Thurman now, 2021 Rudy Gobert.
I don't know if I'd buy him as a better defender than Nate Thurman all time, but I do think that this season is absolutely the draftable one. He
Yep.
showed
But
so much more in terms of his
yep.
offensive game. He just
Well,
seemed like he
like
was
he like
good.
if Embiid is a round 3, round 4 pick, Rudy Gobert's probably around there too.
Yeah, I think I've picked him round 3. You don't want to miss out on him. I think
Right.
that he's an immediate defensive riser.
Because like
He's
if you're picking like with his screening ability, if you're picking him with good like efficiency guards, and they're gonna look a lot better.
Yeah, I agree. Um, he was. There's a lot of new, well, not new, but a lot of Jazz players this year that this is their draftable year.
Mm, yeah.
I definitely Rudy's the top though. I
Oh
think
yeah.
he goes up. Um, Royce O'Neal obviously goes up.
Yeah.
Mitchell, we already talked about him.
I,
The big question mark is, do
J-
you buy Joe Ingles 2020-21, or do you still take his, I think it's 2018?
mhm.
He's a much, much better defender.
Yeah, that's the thing. You either take the better defender or you take a crazy efficient season in 2021.
Exactly. It's one of those things. There's a lot of guys who have different years that are people to
Mm,
consider their best year.
right.
Um,
Like Ron Artest recently. Ron
yep.
Artest now has multiple seasons you can pick.
Yeah. And I think, you know, that is definitely, do you take 18 angles or do you take 21 angles? And I think it's a matter of fit. That's what it boils
Right.
down to.
Right.
Um,
Another one like that I want to get into real quick. I know you disagreed with me. Not you, but like you, the
yeah.
user you. He disagreed with me on this. I really like 2021 James Harden.
Yeah. I think that this James Harden proved to be portable, and I hate using that word. I don't really like it, but
Why would you use that word? God damn it!
but I do think that this is another case of
Mhm.
which season do you take of Harden, and
Right.
he
You could either
proved
take
that he
right,
can fit with other players.
right, and you have
Um,
like this season. Even though his scoring dropped, it was because his playmaking went up like crazy.
yeah,
Like he upskilled his playmaking a lot this season.
absolutely. Harden's one of my favorite all-time players, probably top 5 all time.
Mhm.
Um, so I buy every single one of his seasons. Um, I know that people didn't like his fit with Chris Paul, didn't like it with Howard, didn't like it um with Westbrook, but
Right, yeah.
he
This
proved,
year, this year was his year to prove that he could fit in a super team, all-time team setting.
yeah, and I think what was important too was Kyrie's willingness to move to the 2.
Yep.
Um, that, and I know they didn't really play much together because one of them was
Injured,
hurt.
yeah, right.
But when they did
Injuries or Kyrie hiding from playing basketball or
play, when they did play, I mean, my God, I'm waiting for next year already for that Brooklyn team. I
Mhm.
think that they're going to be unstoppable
Yep.
when they're all healthy. That's the key.
Mm,
Um, and Durant, you know, he needs somebody like a Harden or Kyrie with him at all times. I've
yep.
noticed that recently when both Harden and Kyrie went out and it was just Mike James in there. You noticed the severe drop in KD's play.
Right.
Um,
Right. That's another interesting thing. I think with Irving, Harden, and Durant, you can all argue that 2021 may be a good season for him.
yeah, I have Kyrie Irving down as somebody that I think I would take this season.
Mm. See,
But KD,
Harden,
I'm not.
KD is if you want 100% postseason resilience. Because like
Yeah, it's
Kevin
tough.
Durant, he played his best offense and his best defense in the postseason this year.
Yeah, which is crazy to think with the Achilles tear and everything that
Right.
he was able to
Like
perform at such a high
like
level because
like
usually
it
when you tear your Achilles, that's it.
right. Like it's obviously not his best regular season at all, but this was absolutely his best postseason.
Yeah,
So
I might buy that.
hmm, so it
I
makes it
don't
more
know.
debatable.
I just think the year that he went to Golden State, which was just a coward move, um, he I mean, that team is just amazing. I mean, I just
Oh
still
yeah.
think about it, it's crazy. They had
Like
4 stars.
it's a genuine debate whether you'd have like an all-time draft team or the 16-17 Warriors.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're just basically an all-time team, uh,
Right.
with Zaza Pachulia, but,
Yeah.
uh,
Zaza was decent defensively for a couple years.
yeah, 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 but you didn't really need, like, a name brand center. Like,
Right.
when they got DeMarcus Cousins, I thought Boogie was gonna come back and be Boogie, but
Mhm.
he wasn't. But you didn't need somebody like Boogie with that team.
Right. Though I guess Boogie did step up and he became a pretty decent passer with that Warriors team.
He did. I I'm a little iffy on Boogie.
Oh yeah. I think his peak doesn't age as well.
No, it doesn't. Um, plus he was with the Kings, and you know
Yeah.
that's
Haha.
tough.
Empty stat.
Yeah. I think some more. Uh, I think a couple more role players here that would their stock's going to increase.
Hmm.
Michael Bridges and OG Anunoby,
Oh yeah,
both
Mikal Bridges, OG for sure, for sure.
they stepped up this year, and Michael now
Hmm.
um in the playoffs, probably going to go to the finals,
Yep.
probably going to win the finals.
Yep.
That's my prediction now is that they're going to win the finals. They just seem like the best team left.
I know
Um,
this is a bit of a recency bias question, but do you buy Seth Curry for $1?
I've seen that. I think I would. His
You would?
shooting is insane. I mean,
Oh
it's
yeah.
absolutely insane. I mean, he. I hate to say it, but he was the second best player on the Warriors of playoffs.
Hmm.
What do you think?
Uh,
Or
it's
not the
interesting.
Warriors. Sorry, the Sixers.
No, I was waiting for you to pick that up. Like, hmm.
Yeah, I meant the Sixers.
Yeah,
Speak
I'd
myself.
agree. I'd agree. Is I think Ben Simmons this season actually hurt his stock for last season.
Yeah, ah,
Like
man.
Ben Simmons is overall his draft stock because now it's proven that it's super easy to shut down his offense.
Oh yeah, and you can just hack him, and he's gonna choke at the free throw line.
Right.
So it's just not worth it.
Yeah,
Um,
I think Seth Curry for sure has been like this postseason he's been the second option for Philadelphia.
yeah, and that's crazy to think too with Tobias Harris on that team as well.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Tob
Tobias, yeah, Toby has been a good shot creator, but he's not finishing very well.
no, oh man, he was pissing me off. Was it last night when they played? Yeah, a couple
Yeah,
nights ago now, because how early it is in the morning. But
yeah, we're filming this
he,
pretty late.
he man, he choked like 4 times on easy layups, like straight bunnies, like just missing them.
Right.
And I was just like, man, they're gonna lose. They're gonna lose. And I kept saying that, and then Simmons passed up that wide open dunk, and I was like, yeah,
That's a wrap.
um,
Yeah, like if you when you consider his floor spacing and shot creation and shooting overall, I think Seth Curry for $1 is pretty okay.
yeah, I think so too. I mean, he shot 45% from 3 this year.
Right, yeah, it's
If you're
nuts.
gonna draft Joe Harris, why aren't you drafting Seth
Yeah,
Curry?
I would not take Joe Harris after this postseason.
Yeah, he was rough. He was a
He
brick this
was
postseason.
Andy the Prophet predicted it pretty well.
Yeah, he did. Harris like can't shoot, said
Harris
Andy.
like cannot shoot, said Andy.
Meanwhile, he shot 48% in the regular season, but
I know.
from 3. But in the postseason, utter bricks, utter
Right.
bricks, utter bricks from Joe Harris.
Oh yeah.
Every time he caught the ball, I was like, "Oh, this will be the one that goes in."
And then
It was like, nope.
nope.
Yeah, he shot 47.5% in the regular season.
Hmm.
In the playoffs from 3,
I think I think he shot like 24% this series.
maybe this series, but in the playoffs as a total, he ended up shooting 40% from 3,
Hmm.
which
Yeah,
is
so
a
still
drop off.
good, but a drop off, yeah.
It's a clear drop off, and I don't know what he shot this series. I don't have those stats.
I believe against the Bucks he shot around like 25%.
That's just
Let me hit my homie stat news real quick.
that's that's rough.
Oh
That's
yeah.
rough. You can't be
There's
doing that.
Eastern semifinals. Okay. Okay, so okay, I was a bit off, pretty well off. But in the 2021 Eastern Conference semifinals, he shot 33% from 3.
Which is just a clear drop off from
It's like
47.5.
right, it's not as bad as I thought, but still very bad.
That's very bad for Joe Harris.
Which he did this on 7 3-point attempts per game.
Which is not good at
Right.
all.
I got a lot of wasted possessions.
Yeah. Originally, this would have been the Joe Harris year,
Mhm.
but now I'm not so sure.
Right. Because now
Um,
you can just take last season's Joe Harris, who was pretty better.
yeah, but the problem is, I think that also hurts stock a little bit
Mhm. Yep.
because of this postseason where he could have been huge for them.
Right.
I think that definitely hurts him. And like I said, why take Joe Harris when you can just take Seth Curry, who's proven this year and is equally good of a shooter?
Yep. I'd take Seth Curry for $1 for sure.
Yeah. I think another guy too, Michael Porter Jr.
Oh yeah.
Uh,
Because now he's a proven off-ball fit if you have an all-around playmaker.
yep, he's perfect. And then
Like
go
like
ahead.
I would like to see him on the bench of like a team with Draymond Green on it.
Yeah, that'd be interesting. That'd be really cool.
That would be cool.
And then another guy too, young guy. Shout out to Russ, KC, Shai Gilgeous-Alexander.
Yep. Shai Gilgeous
Absolutely.
Alexander, I know it's hard to judge him, but he had like super high efficiency on a team with zero spacing.
Yeah, he's gonna be great. He's incredible. I've always thought he was incredible because I watch a lot of college ball. My friend and I was like, nah, man, SGA's the man. He's gonna do great, and he's proven. He's proven to do it.
Like when Ball Don't Stop said that Hoopers will figure out without spacing, he's talking about Shai Gilgeous Alexander.
I don't know if we want to cite him because real hoop heads know
Real Hoopers, no.
that Chris Middleton is better than Giannis. Bullshit.
True.
An interesting one for me was John Morant because he was bonkers against Utah.
Yep.
I think that this is I think he'd be a good $1-2 option at point guard.
Yep. I just think you need to surround him with good spacing because his 3-point shooting was very questionable.
in the regular season was, and in the playoffs it got better. I feel I'm not positive, but I thought he
Yeah,
became a good.
he overall did step up into the playoffs.
Yeah, I mean he was breaking records. He was
Mhm.
incredible. Um, he's been one of my favorite players to watch.
Right.
Yeah, he shot 30% from three in the regular season.
Right. He shot 32% in the playoffs from three.
So yeah, he got better, but he also
2%.
increased his volume of threes by double,
Right. Yeah,
almost
I think so.
a little bit under.
Like, so on a 5 game sample against an elite defense like Utah, he still averaged 30 points per game with 8
Yeah,
assists per game. Like that's still resilient.
that's insane. Yeah,
Mm.
he's a bucket. He's
Yep.
good. I love
Yep.
him.
Yep. I would take him for $1 or $2 for sure.
Um, now I'm gonna throw this in. You threw in Larry Nance Jr. I'm gonna throw in my bias picks:
Hmm.
De'Aaron Fox and Tyrese Halliburton.
I back Tyler Halliburton for sure. I like Halliburton a lot.
Yeah, he's great. He's
Mm.
already got one of the best IQs in the league.
Yep.
And he's a rookie, gonna be in his second year. I mean, it's incredible how good he was, and I'm looking forward to next year with whoever we get in the draft, developing with him. Um, Maybe we can get somebody in a trade for Buddy Hield. As much as that pains me, Buddy's my favorite player. Shout
Yeah.
out, Buddy, if you're listening.
One day maybe.
Love you. Um, but I buy De'Aaron Fox too. He's so underrated. And I think that's just because he plays in Sacramento. People don't see him enough. But I did. I watched every game, and I really liked him this year. He got hurt towards the end.
Yeah.
We always do this little thing at the end where we like try to make things interesting and make a playoff push,
Yeah.
and it just was not the right time to do that. We hurt our draft stock, but I think he would have came back for the playoffs, and I really, really think he'd be great in the playoffs. I think he's a good playoff. He seems like a good playoff player. I don't know.
He seems built for the pros. Like he's ready for this.
Yeah, I mean his development. He's been progressively getting better every year.
Yeah.
You can say maybe it's a smaller one from 20 to 21, but I mean he took control and really showed that he's the best player on the team by far. And his 3-point shooting is iffy, but he still was like, no, you know what? I'm going to take 5.5 shots per game, increase that from 3.6 after I shot 29% from three. And he improved a little bit. And I think that's something that Ben Simmons needs to take into consideration is just shoot. Like, the more you shoot, it sounds so dumb and so simple.
No.
The more you shoot, the more practice you get in shooting,
No,
you're gonna get better.
Ben Simmons is power forward Ben Wallace.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, I buy those guys.
Yep.
I just think that it's hard because they're in Sacramento.
Right.
That pains me.
Yeah.
I hope they never leave.
See, is there any more players you want to throw in before we head into our final topic?
Well, we talked about Mitchell.
Yep, we got Mitchell, we got Gobert, all the role players.
Yeah. I think we should throw this one thing in there. Do not draft Julius Randle. Please do not.
Please don't.
Sully, stop. Just stop.
You got an overrated regular season player who showed zero resiliency in the playoffs. Like none.
He's not gonna do this next year.
No, he's not.
The fans are gonna be back, and it's gonna be different.
He's gonna choke.
Maybe for a $1 option, it's fine.
Yeah, but he's not a $5 player like some people think he is.
He's not a $5 player. Ball don't stop and take him for $5. Don't do that.
Listen here, Vibe Central. We are not Ball Don't Stop.
We are not Ball Don't Stop. We are hoop heads, but we're not the hoop heads that ball don't stop things.
Trust me, guys. Allen Iverson, he hates Julius Randle.
Yeah,
Like, let's see, is there any more?
I encourage not drafting Julius Randle.
Oh yeah.
Obviously his regular season, his numbers look great.
hmm
But my God, in the playoffs, that was a woke season, man. My
hmm
Lord,
Oh,
that was
absolutely, absolutely. It was bad. It was bad.
player that I had on my list too was LaMelo Ball, but I think that,
Yeah.
and this is going into our next topic here, I think after next season he'll be clearly draftable.
Right. Yeah. Yep, heading into this next topic of players that we think will become draftable next season, LaMelo Ball is definitely a great name to throw in there because as a rookie, his passing and floor vision was insane.
Absolutely insane. Well, I don't think he deserved Rookie of the Year. Shout out Tyrese Halliburton. You should have won. You had an insane season. You should have won. But yes, LaMelo is a better player. He
Mm.
just is. It's
Like
incredible what he's able to do.
I remember the one highlight where it was like full court and just he threw an underhand like bounce pass and it was fully complete. And like how in the world did he do that?
I know it's insane, absolutely insane. I love LaMelo. I bought him since he went overseas. I
hmm
think he's a great player. I think he'll be better than Lonzo.
Oh yeah.
Even though I am buying Lonzo more. I've always
Okay,
been a
yeah.
Lonzo fan.
Yeah, it's real quick regarding back. I why isn't Lonzo Ball drafted? He's a 3-and-D point guard.
Yeah, I've seen him be drafted once. Um, it's questionable.
hmm
Um, just because
Also,
he's not in
good
New
chemistry
Orleans.
with off ball bigs.
Yeah, I think he's great with Zion. I would
hmm
sign those two up for the future because
hmm
they're great together.
hmm
But I'm not sure about him being draftable or not yet.
Yeah, it's fair. I guess Mario Chalmers is better.
Oh God, okay.
But yeah, back to players you think will be draftable next season. I am putting some homer bias into Isaac Okoro.
Oh, okay. That's a good one.
Isaac Okoro was probably the best defensive rookie in the class.
Was he?
Yeah, I think so.
Hmm. I
He
don't know.
his defensive advanced stats did get dragged down by the horrible situation we had. But
Yeah.
he had a lot of possessions where he looked like he was a pro defensive player already. Like
Hmm.
one highlight I'd like to bring up, just like off the memory, off the dome. We were playing the Pistons and Jeremy Grant, who was having a really hot start to the season, Okoro shut him down. He forced
Hmm.
Jeremy Grant to pass the ball away and it shut down their win.
Interesting.
Like
Big Jeremy Grant fan here too, myself.
like he knows who to attack and who to shut down.
Yeah, I I can agree with that.
Mm.
I just it's hard to say if he'll be draftable or not. Yes, next
Yeah.
year.
It
Um,
does depend on his offensive leap because like his defense was like pro level for a rookie, but his offense was non-existent.
yeah, that's the thing. I think that if he gets better offensively, sure I'll buy it.
Right.
But right now, well, for next season, it's I mean we're throwing out names right now. So
Yeah, we're guessing.
yeah, so I think that yeah, it's possible. Um, do I think he should have been on the All Rookie second team? No, I do not. But
Oh,
I know it hurts.
you're mean.
Um, you just spent 5 minutes bashing Sully, and you're calling me mean?
Well, that's because Sully's mean.
Sully's not mean. Sully just comes off like an ass. He has that as his tag in my server. Just
Ass.
he doesn't mean it. He's a good guy. I like Sully. Sully's a good guy.
Is that the full role?
What?
Is that the full role? Doesn't mean it. He's a nice guy. I like Sully.
No, that's not. No. Anytime he posts something, that comes off rude. I'm just gonna tag him with that comes off like an ass roll. But Sully,
Yeah.
love you. Thank you for everything.
Yeah, so we
Um,
got LaMelo, Okoro. Let me think
I'm
of a
gonna go.
decent like. I
I got a
think
guy.
yeah,
I got a guy. Mohamed
yeah.
Bamba.
Ooh,
I
you think
think
he
he'll.
is? See,
I'd buy.
has he been traded yet?
No, he's still with Orlando, but
He
man, he
needs to get
played
traded
last
to a
year.
yeah.
He
He needs to
played.
get
He was good.
right. Yeah, he needs to get traded to a team where he'll get more touches.
Okay, sure.
Like I think he's a player with very high potential that isn't being fully tapped into yet.
No, no. He's man, he's so good though. Like
Mhm.
offensively, he's really good. I think that's
Yeah.
something that I think they need to get rid of Wendell Carter. I don't know why they have Wendell Carter with Mo Bamba. Like,
Mhm.
no, like you just traded Vucevic.
Right. Like
Put in,
I
yeah,
do not I do not think this poverty Orlando team that is in tank mode deserves Mohamed Bamba.
yeah. It's hard to say. I mean, towards the end of the season, he was a bucket.
Hmm.
Uh, he had a 21-point game. He had a 22-point game. 15 rebounds.
Hmm.
Pretty nice. Um,
Yeah.
I really buy. Plus, he's so long. He's huge.
Yeah. His wingspan is crazy.
So he's somebody I definitely buy possibly next year, along with some other ones.
Hmm.
Um, I feel pretty good about Kevin Porter Jr.
I'm
Um,
half and half on him.
yeah, I can understand that as somebody who traded away Kevin Porter Jr. because
Yeah.
he had a fit or something. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I will say, I'm betting on Darius Garland. I think
Okay.
Darius Garland for a second year point guard who's been coming off injuries in like college, he was a very good passer playmaker.
Yeah, I think that Garland's a great player.
Hmm.
And again, these are just predictions. They're not.
Right. Right.
They
He could
gotta
be
they gotta step up. I mean,
right. He could be a $1 point guard that makes plays, passes the ball, shoots the ball efficiently.
absolutely. And then two guys that I got that are rookies, gonna be rookies.
Mhm.
Cade Cunningham and Jalen Green. I
Yeah, I
think
like those.
I think that Cade, I absolutely believe in him. I think he's gonna be great.
Hmm.
Um, I think he's the next LeBron. Just kidding. I'm just kidding. They said that
He
about Ben Simmons.
true.
Rip to that. Um,
Rip. Now he's worse Draymond Green.
yeah, he's just Magic Johnson with defense. Uh, so yeah, I buy Cade.
Yeah, me
Jalen became
too.
maybe for me, but
Hmm.
I do think that. Ooh, man, I thought he was the best player in the draft up until a couple weeks ago.
Hmm.
Uh, his explosion's elite, whereas Cade's like super slow, but like
Yeah,
also super effective.
yeah. I
Jalen's
think.
gonna be more of a Anthony Edwards type, I feel.
Hmm.
Who's another one I think that could be draftable.
One more point about Cade. I think one thing that'll make Cade like super super nice in all time drafts is that you can literally just play him 1 through 4.
Yep,
Like any position 1 through 4, you can play him.
absolutely. I agree with that. Um, I feel good on another one too because in his small sample size this season, he was elite.
Hmm.
Um, DeAndre Hunter.
Yes, he is
Uh,
easily. I don't know if I'd rank him over Capella, but he's one of Atlanta's best defenders.
yeah, I don't. Yeah, I think Capella's the best defender,
Hmm.
but Hunter's just a great player. He's proven to be. Ooh, yeah, he's proven to be probably the best pick in that Atlanta draft where they had a couple first rounders.
Yep, yep. He's very promising.
Um, whereas the other guy, Cam Reddish,
Mm.
he's got to get better.
Yep.
Um, my bold prediction, because you got to have a bold prediction for this stuff,
Yeah, you have a bold one.
is somebody that he was bad when he played, but
Hmm.
I think I'd buy James Wiseman.
Ooh, I do like Ryzen as an effort player. Because
Yeah.
at the start of the season when he was first, like he looked surprisingly good, then like immediately fell off.
And I think that's part of having to be where he didn't play in
Mm,
college. He had a year off.
right.
And then you jump and you're right into the NBA, and it's a completely different level of
Right.
play.
Like
But
like he's clearly enough for a guy. He tries on defense. He screens for Curry. He plays off the ball.
yep,
He's got the effort tendencies. He just needs to put it all together.
yeah, and he's a decent shooter too. I think he's
Mm-hmm.
a decent shooter. And I I buy him. I wouldn't trade him yet. I would give him another year.
Me
If he
too.
doesn't pan out, then deal him for somebody. I mean,
Right.
don't be like us with Marvin Bagley. Don't hold on to him. Don't hold on to baggage. You just got to get rid
Right.
of him.
Right.
But yeah, those pretty much are the guys. Nick Claxton is another one.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I think he's been great. Um, in that bench role, but he's got to play a little bit more. I feel for me to take him. Um,
Right.
I saw somebody another server. I think it was Jay. He compared him to Bo Outlaw, and I was like,
Mm.
not yet, but I think that can be his ceiling.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, those are the guys I really feel. Cade, Jalen Green, Anthony Edwards. I feel like
Yeah.
he had an explosive second half to the season. I think he'll be
Oh
great.
yeah. Oh yeah.
KPG, Mohamed Bamba, Nick Claxton, DeAndre Hunter, and then my bold prediction of James Wiseman. Those are the guys I see. What about you?
Mm.
Got any more?
I don't know. It's kind of a hard thought. Um, I think rather than becomes draftable, I think we see in terms of like a major stock increase. I think Jason Tatum's going to go up huge this next season.
I think so too. I think that's interesting because um his playmaking got better.
Yes, his
And
offensive production was great in the postseason.
yep, I agree with that. Um I think that we'll definitely see his stock go up after next season.
Mm-hmm.
These two seasons, 20 and 21, are a bit fluky. So
Yep.
you gotta think about that and see how players advance in the next years. But yeah, I like that. Tatum going up. Hmm. I think it'll be. I think after 2021, I think we'll see Zion go up even more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see. Taking another moment to think about maybe a new player that becomes draftable.
Hmm. Yeah, that's a hard one to think about.
Mm-hmm. Mm, hmm.
Oh, I think someone we missed on the 2021
Oh,
stock increase was Fred Van Vliet.
yeah.
He definitely
Yep.
goes up, I feel. He
Mm-hmm.
was elite
Oh yeah.
for
He was
sure.
great. He was great. He was great. Great, great value point guard.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked him a lot. Oh,
What about Dylan Brooks?
Dylan,
Think he can
uh,
improve, get
an in,
drafted?
an interesting take by Liam the other day.
Hmm.
What makes Dylan Brooks different than Marcus Smart?
Oh God. Yeah. I mean, Marcus Smart is more like he's a nail defender.
Yeah.
So he's man, I just get ticked off when people are like making fun of Pat Bev, saying like, "Oh, he's just running around tricking
Yeah.
y'all."
You're
I
right.
feel like it's the same way with Marcus Smart.
Yeah,
Don't I
I'd
don't
agree.
it's not it's really not that and the thing is Brooks is a much better shooter.
Yep.
Much smoother. I trust him more in offense
Mm-hmm.
than Smart. Um
Yep.
Liam might also be having a Canada bias,
Yeah.
but
But
uh
like unironically, I do think Either Dylan Brooks becomes super valuable or Marcus Smart goes down.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see after 2021, 2022
Right.
what
And
happens there.
right. And by next draft, we're planning like ATD 21. That's the plan. Like we're gonna start it then because we have the. Even though it's been halted, like it just randomly kind of stopped out of nowhere because cough P Philly hasn't picked yet. We plan on getting 21 players started by ATD 21, so it'll be interesting to see where Dylan Brooks goes.
Yeah, if he goes, it'll be interesting to see if
Right.
people really remember
Like
how good he was
right,
in the
right,
playoff.
because for $1, I almost feel like he's a steal.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
Like if Marcus Smart is $6-7 and Dylan Brooks for $1 is a steal.
Absolutely. Um, I definitely am going to buy the Memphis team more.
Mm-hmm.
In the coming years, they need to keep Kyle Anderson. That dude is a baller.
Mm-hmm.
He's not a hooper, but he is a baller.
Mm-hmm.
Defensively, he just sees the court, and he's incredible the way he sees the court.
Right.
And another shout out to Liam here. Does Reggie Jackson become draftable?
I think when you factor how well he fit with this great Clippers team and how well he did in the postseason, I think I'd actually buy it.
Yeah, I think I would too. He's been incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Just a great player for them, and has really stepped up in the absence of Kawhi. Same
Yep.
thing with Terrence Mann. Probably wouldn't take Terrence Mann. That's
No,
going a bit
I would
far.
not take that's a horrible regular season staple to invest in.
Yeah. But I do think that Reggie Jackson is possibly worth it.
Yeah, for $1, I'm like if there are no other like great point guard options for $1, I consider Reggie Jackson.
Yeah. Yeah, he was averaged 10 points a game this year.
Mm-hmm.
Shot 43% from 3.
Yeah, like
That's
it's his
that's
his his scoring across the season, especially in the playoffs, like his scoring as a point guard is insane.
and in the playoffs he's upped his scoring,
Mm-hmm.
and his 3-point percentage it went down, but it's still 42%.
Yeah,
That's
right.
insane.
Like,
And he's
that's
shooting
great.
50% from the field. He's
Mm-hmm.
currently having a 50-40-90.
Yep, he's playing great.
He's doing, yeah, I think he's draftable.
Yep.
And I'd love to see him next year too.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's an interesting one. Trying to think if there's any other people that would be.
Yeah, anything to like round up on to close.
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, I think that the takeaways here are, Jokic is going up for
Yep.
sure. Zion
Oh,
will be draftable for
yep.
sure.
Don't draft Julius Randle.
Do not draft Julius Randle. Please. Do not.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we'll see some really fun new players come into the mold for the next season.
Oh yeah.
And I'm really looking forward to Cade Cunningham. So,
Oh yeah, me too.
and I'm sure you want him on the Cavs.
All right. Which fun question to close on, just like for overall basketball. Who do we think's winning the lottery?
Oof. Right now I have Detroit.
Detroit.
I really think that Detroit can pull it off where they tank for Cade and then go for Emily Bates.
Yeah.
Whether it's next year or the year after. I mean, that's ridiculous if they're able to get those two guys. But the fade for Cade movement's real.
Yes, fade for Cade.
That was our plan in Sacramento, and then we just started doing really well during random points of the year. We'd drop like 10 games, and then we'd be like, let's go on another run to make it almost 500 and
right.
scare our fans into thinking we're not going to get a lottery pick. But
right. You pulled it out.
I think that they will get the one. I think I was just talking about this with somebody. I think he'll get the 1. Detroit will get the 1. I think Houston will get the 2, and I think OKC will get 3. But again, not positive there. I would like to see Cade and Shea Gilgeous-Alexander together. That would be sick.
Yes, that'd be amazing.
But who knows?
Mm.
I think Detroit will be an interesting landing spot. Detroit's an interesting team.
Oh yeah.
Which obviously they're bad, but
that does draw another potential future draftable player. I think Killian Hayes is a fun topic.
Yeah, he's it's tough because he was so bad.
Yeah,
but
he was bad, but he has a very high ceiling.
He has a very high ceiling. I totally agree with that. It's just a matter of does he perform next year, and I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
Right.
It's going to be tough to say. I really buy Sadiq Bey and Isaiah Stewart. I really like those, and an underrated part of the trade that they had with, I think it was with OKC. I think they sent CV Mikhailuk and somebody else to OKC, and the Pistons got Hamidou Diallo in return. And I'm interested in seeing how he does because he was doing pretty well for, almost too well for OKC.
Right.
So I think it'll be interesting to see what he ends up doing. Yeah, he averaged 11.6 points this year, which really went up from his normal numbers. So it'll be interesting to see. They got a lot of talent on the Pistons that's young and it's raw, and it'll be interesting to see. And I think that, man, I hate saying this because I love seeing Jeremy Grant blow out this year, but he needs to be in a different situation. I think. I don't think he can be the number one option.
Jeremy Grant being a 20 points per game scorer does not mean your team's very good.
No. I think when he was with Denver, I mean, that
was his best. That was best Jeremy Grant.
And he proved to people that he can score if they need him to, but he doesn't need to be that guy. He really doesn't. He was going to get paid the same amount of money to be probably, arguably, championship team with Denver.
Right. I almost kind of wish that with all the money Atlanta had, that Atlanta had bought into him.
Yeah, I think that it would have been interesting. I don't know if I would have rather had Gallo or if I would have rather had Grant. I probably would have rather had Grant.
Yeah, I would have rather had Grant than Gallo because that's more defense.
Yeah,
like absolutely. Way more.
Yeah, I think Detroit gets it, but I'll probably be wrong.
Yeah.
It's a lottery. Who knows? New Orleans will probably get it.
Hey, if New Orleans gets it, ESPN's going nuts.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
The Cade and Zion movement, man.
Yeah, that's a nice foundation for the future.
Until Zion goes to New York.
And yeah, which, gosh, I hope that doesn't happen. Man, I know Fed would want that to happen, but I do not want that to happen.
Randall and picks for Zion, baby.
Randall goes back to New Orleans. Well, I think that's all I got. I don't know about you, but
yeah, I think
we should definitely do this every week.
Oh yeah. I think this was a really good first episode. I think we already feel pretty natural at this.
Yeah. Oh yeah, absolutely. For me, this is pretty familiar doing this in college, and I look forward to doing more of these with you, man.
Oh yeah, of course. This turned out great. I'm gonna really enjoy this. To anyone that actually watches this whenever we get like editing done, release this to YouTube, I appreciate you guys. I appreciate Ian for being like, hey, let me co-host. Ian's really nice to talk to. This is gonna go well.
This will go well. And it doesn't matter if people don't watch it or not. We're having fun. That's the whole point.
Even if we only get like 1 or 2 server people watching, that's fine because we still have our own like footage to go back to and listen back on. If our opinions change, we can go back to this. It's a nice foundation.
Very nice. Well, I had fun, man. So
yeah, of course.
Till next time.
Yeah, thank you for being here. Thank anyone that watches the eventual YouTube link for being this far. We'll see you next week.
Peace.
Peace.